Hello and welcome back to another race of the 1972 season in Formula One Challenge. So I was wrong yesterday. Today is not gonna be the British Grand Prix, but instead it's gonna be the French Grand Prix on the track of Clermont-Ferrand, or I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. As you may know by now, I tend to have some trouble with French. So here we are on this lovely track that has been built as a counterpart for the Nürburgring, and it's actually the last time we're going to see this track. Well, for you guys it's the first and the last time on these videos, because the last time I raced here was the 1970 season, which was not recorded. So here we are on this lovely track, and unlike in real life, here we don't have to worry about the possible hazards such as landslides, volcanic rocks. However, the one thing we actually do have to worry about is the lack of runoff zones. And based on my previous experience, the AI tends to go absolute batshit crazy on this track, and I'm expecting a lot of attrition and a massive carnage. However, I think that it looks like, for now at least, that this is the first time when the AI is remotely competitive on this track. In the previous season, I managed to win by roughly 2.5 minutes, and as you can see, this time I'm starting from P6. So yeah, I'm expecting things to be a bit different from the 1970 season here. And it's Emerson Fittipaldi starting from P1, followed by Danny Hulme, who seemed to have carried over his good form from Belgium to here. Jackie Stewart, my teammate, you can see him right in front of me in the blue car, starting from P3. And right next to him is Jackie X. And right next to me here is Peter Revson in the McLaren, and it looks like he managed to carry on his good form from the previous race as well. And then behind me is Regazzoni and Mike Halewood, who I think was amongst the point finishers in Belgium as well. And then it's Peterson, Beltoise, Eamon and Andretti, the first 12 drivers in this race. And it's a very long track. The difference to the Nürburgring is that I don't hate this track and I can actually finish a lap without crashing out halfway through. So yeah, I'm hoping for a good result on my side, and I'm also hoping that the AI is going to be at least remotely competitive, or at least can keep up what you can see here on the starting grid. And well, I actually have a lot of hopes for this race. I also hope that we're not going to get anyone stalling in front of me, because as you can see, there is just nowhere to go. So this might get tricky if someone's car breaks down right at the start. So without further ado, I think I got everything ready, so we can jump right into it and do some racing. And here we go. And the race is on. The last time in this French Grand Prix, and Stewart is already touched wheels with X, and I think I gave him a bump from behind as well. And X is actually pretty fast for now, at least. And yeah, Hulme is already in the lead. That's pretty awesome. So hopefully he can truly keep up his good form from Belgium, and we might have a good race here against each other. Not like this. If we... Oh boy! What are you doing, mate? And, well, thanks to this, I lost my front wing. However, I think I have no suspension damage. Okay, so from this point on, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. Right, so this is what happens if we lack the run-off zones. So I'm going to try the pit stop, but if I remember correctly, it doesn't work, so I'm not gonna be able to get on a new front wing. But I could definitely use it, because taking the corners is going to be very tricky from this point on, and I actually have to go a lot slower than I should be, or what I could be doing here. And now I have very little control over the car as well, so Holm certainly didn't make this very easy for me. And X is out of the race, and I'm just coasting away through the track, and in the background I could see Jackie coming up behind Holm. And this happens if we don't have runoff zones. Oh, this was amazing. And I think I just hit Holm off the track. No, I actually hit Jackie off the track. No, none of them. Then I have no idea. No, it was Holm, it's Refson behind me. Right, okay. Well, not necessarily what I wanted, but you could say it was payback time for my front wing. So let's go, and we're almost there, so we'll go and have a look at those pits and how well they are working. But it's definitely gonna be an upwards battle from here on. Yeah, I definitely need that front wing. So let's go. Yep, I have no pit stop here. Wonderful. It's gonna be an amazing race. Yep, okay, that's not going to work. So now I gave away a lot of position and have to carry on with a damaged car. So yeah, this is gonna be awesome. As much as I used to enjoy this track, it's going to turn into a nightmare now. Look, I can't even take the corner properly. So yeah, we'll just roll with it, and we'll see how long I can last under these conditions. And it looks like someone went wide again here. It's actually pretty dangerous here, because you can end up sitting on these little mounts on the track side with all four of your wheels just hanging in the air. And I'm having a bit of a battle with Reutemann here. And it's crazy to think that even with a damaged car, I'm faster than these guys. But now we're having a crazy battle here with the folks in front. So let's just try our best to stay on the track and stay at least as much competitive as possible under the circumstances. Ooh, that was bad. Someone just fell right off the track and into the forest. Right, so that was Beltoise who took a trip to the forest. And I keep hitting Redman in the back, which is not helping. So what I can actually do is to use this wonderful piece of engineering Tyrrell to get some result, and without a front wing I'm actually back to P2, and actually there's the gap to Jackie is not that big, so I might be able to catch up to him, but I will have to be really careful with him because I don't want to take him out of the race, or I don't want him to do anything stupid. Right, take it very easy in this corner. And in the meantime I'm trying to do some adjustments to my wheel to make things more comfortable. Right, so I think that if I survive this race, that will be very heroic. So 2 laps done without a front wing, with no option to change it. And it's back to P2 after it turned out that I can't do a pit stop. Yeah, so the car stability is pretty bad now. And that was Jackie just there in the front. So I might actually be able to get back right behind him and maybe even overtake him, but with a car this broken, that's not gonna be easy. But I actually need to, because after this we have all the tracks in the calendar that where I'm not very good at. So for the second half of this season we'll be expecting plenty of DNFs and just overall poor performance, which is the reason I try to get in as many points as possible at the early stages of the season. So it will be less of an issue to actually lose all this advantage that I'm having right now. Oh boy. Certainly not easy to take these corners like this. One of the Fittipaldis is out of the race. And that's Jackie right in front. And I think I can be still faster than him while trying to be as careful as possible. Yep, right behind him. He seems to be somewhat better on the accelerations out of the corner. Whoa. And I need to find some space to overtake him because at this point he holds me back. Come on. Yeah, I'll go for the last corner there. And he goes wide, so I can just come in here. Perfect. Hello. Nice to see you here. Right, so things are back in order as much as possible. And I'm actually afraid to go full throttle in this corner. And in this section especially, because I lost most of the handling. And now I've got as good as no downforce in the front. Oh boy, that's gonna be bad. Not that bad. At least the mount didn't drop me off the track. At least not that badly. And I didn't end up getting stuck on it. But I pretty much did a halm in that corner, or at least going into that corner. And the other question for the day, whether the fuel is going to last. So for now it seems it will, but from what I counted and from what I've seen during the practice and the qualifying sessions, this might change, or at least the fuel might just about be enough to carry me through to the end of this race. But for now I'll just go with a couple of early shifts to minimize the fuel usage. And I already have to do some lifting and coasting through the corners due to the broken car. And I'm trying to use these pieces of dirt wisely that we have on the track side. Oh, I forgot about this corner. Oh boy, just a bit wide. Revson is out of the race. Wonderful. And I hope at least Jackie can carry on through to the end of the race so we can pull another Tyrrell 1-2 for the team. And just get ourselves to the point where no one else is going to be able to compete with us for the rest of the season in the Constructors' Championship. And that's already a back marker after 4 laps. That's broken. Yeah, and he's going into the pits that don't work, making it difficult for me to go by. No, not that difficult. Yeah, I'm trying to stay on the track, but it's slightly difficult with a broken car. I'm trying everything possible to keep it on the track, but the handling is way off the standards after I lost the front wing. And I wonder if I can get away without a brake failure in this race. Yeah, so I think my idea about the AI being at least remotely competitive are gone by now. I really shouldn't be 14 seconds ahead of Jackie with a broken car. So I guess that's all the AI can do here. And at this rate I might actually get to the 2 minutes gap by the end of the race, which is still good 14 laps. And that's another back marker, aka trouble. Yeah, so it's the guys who didn't DNF yet, but thanks to the pits that don't work, they can't get in to get those wings replaced. But at least they don't even try to fight me back, which is fairly nice from them. And I'm just coasting through this section of the track because I'm I'm quite afraid to push it. I should be more considerate about these hairpins, because they are going to destroy me at some point. And that's Reutemann out of the race. Well, Nick, if you're watching this, then I'm sorry for your countrymen. Well, I actually broke the car in the first few corners, not in the first few minutes. Well, okay, it wasn't my fault. It was Danny Halm's fault, who basically bounced back in front of me from one of the mounds, and I had no way to get him out of the way or get out of the way. So I broke the front wing, which means there is absolutely no downforce in the front of the car, and it also has an adverse effect on the cornering capabilities of the car, and that's why I need to be really careful and really slow. +21 seconds to Jackie. Oh boy. Yeah. That's not gonna be as competitive as I had hoped. So at this point I could actually stop for some coffee and croissant and just wait for the guys to catch up. Yeah, so this happens when I'm looking at the chat while I'm driving. Actually, these little patches of dirt next to the track can come in handy if I use them wisely. And if I keep doing this madness with the gears, then I will blow the engine over the next couple of laps as well. And while it's possible to go through the track without a front wing, it's gonna be quite difficult to do that without an engine. Or at least with an engine that's burning. Oh boy. The lack of front downforce is crazy. I should go back to the early shifting, because I want to make sure that the fuel is going to last to the end. And that's Ragazzoni out of the race. And I actually managed to get in a fastest lap, and I have no idea how I did that. goes through the corner. Nice and easy. And I think I can take it fairly easy from this point on. So I can just try and drive safely without destroying the car any further. But still, let's try and put in some speed. Okay, I was just kidding, maybe not. Seconds. At this point, my only hope is that Jackie will actually be able to finish the race and we can get that Tyrrell 1-2. That would be a massive help with the championship. And I also hope that I stop making these mistakes in that corner, because at some point it's going to take revenge on me. And I did another fastest lap. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's definitely some sort of magic. And the other thing that helps a lot with it is that the AI sucks at this track, as it's purely visible from the results behind me. But at least I'm remotely happy because I have we have a lot lower attrition than I was expecting. First 8 laps and about half of the pack is still in the race. But I have no doubts that there's gonna be plenty more, and in the end I'll be happy if we will get to the 6 finishers, so everyone gets some points. 35 seconds. Oh boy. That's just madness. But I need to enjoy it while it lasts, because after this the next race is the UK, and I'm not sure whether it's gonna be Brands Hatch or Silverstone, but it doesn't really matter because I suck on both tracks, so no points for me there. And if it's Brands Hatch, then I'm also in for a nice little DNF. If it's Silverstone, I might actually be able to finish the race on somewhere in the middle of the pack, but obviously that also depends on the attrition. And after Great Britain we'll have Germany with the wonderful Nürburgring, which there is just absolutely no way for me to finish that race. I can't even finish a lap on that track. It's the most barbaric, outdated and dangerous track in the world. couple of back markers here. And actually here's a back marker who's still intact. That's cool. At least it remotely feels like some kind of race instead of destruction derby. Come on, mate, get out of my way. And I'm just gonna do a couple of early shifts again to conserve at least a little bit of fuel. Oh wait, we're actually looking pretty good for fuel. I'm pretty sure the gearbox like this. Okay, I went a little bit crazy with the shifting. And with the amount of back markers I'm facing here, this might be a little bit tricky. Especially if he keeps blocking the racing line for me. Come on, don't try to fight me back. You're being labbed, mate. Just let me go. I could actually go on 5th gear in this section, and now I'm somewhere between 3rd and 4th. That's the difference it makes having the car broken at the beginning of the race. And Pescarolo is just about to blow the engine. Yep, that's what he did. So my closest current championship rival is out of the race. I mean, by closest, I mean he's got less than half the points of me, and that takes him to 2nd place in the championship. And that was not very nice from these back markers to just be in front of me and not letting me past. Going a little bit wide. Yeah, those are the back markers, which means they are so slow that I catch up with them on 1 lap. And the ones that are damaged, that's because the pits are broken, so they can get in to get their stuff replaced. That's a bug in the game, that a couple of tracks has that, but a couple of guys are also working on them. But I don't think they were aware of these because no one really played these seasons. I don't really know any other madman who is playing the 70s. Lift and coast, lift and coast. I'll just be a bit easier on the brakes. Because if I get a brake failure aside next to the missing front wing, then I'll be in trouble. And it's still 9 laps to go. Now we certainly don't want that. I mean, if it happens in the last lap, I don't care, then I can still finish that. Maybe even the last 2, especially with the advantage I'll be having by then. It's almost a minute to Jackie at this point. Yeah, I should be more considerate about these corners. Because I start accelerating right in front of them, so I have to stand on the brakes to slow the car down. This corner here is actually the one where I feel the lack of the front wing the most. Whoa. And that's how you use the gravel trap not very wisely. Hi, Nick. Yeah, only 18 laps because this is Clermont-Ferrand. You know, that crazy French track on the countryside. And it's about 6 kilometers long, almost as long as the Nürburgring. I mean, just look at the lap times. We're going about 3 minute lap times here. And since you missed the beginning, I fill you in on what happened so far. So I managed to break the front wing with the effective help of Danny Halm in the first couple of corners. So I'm basically driving around in a broken car ever since and still have almost a minute gap to Jackie. So this is pretty much what happened in the past 11 laps. In the past 10 laps, sorry, that's the 11th lap. I could and should be a lot faster than this here, but yeah, so my only luck is that despite the qualifying session, the AI is still not very competitive on this track, so I can get away with a broken front wing. But if I keep messing up with the gearing, then it's not only the front wing that's gonna get broken, but the engine as well. And that's gonna be Peterson out of the race. Yeah, well, we'll see about how nice and easy it's going to be to win this race, Nick. There is no front wing, and you know I have a tendency to get brake failures, and if I get that with a broken front wing, then I'm going to end up here somewhere in the trees or on the trees. Yeah, so this is where Halm broke off my front wing in the very first lap. In the meantime, he's already out of the race because when I tried to rejoin the track after I ran wide, I actually took him out. Or at least I think so, and I still think that I took him out and not someone else. So he got the payback for breaking my front wing. Okay, so why is Halewood shown as the... right, okay, good. I was getting worried there for Jackie for a second. And I'm taking a lot of early shifts here to conserve some fuel, because the pit stop doesn't work, so I need to finish the race somehow. And for now we're looking good, which is cool. Whoa. Right, so someone is out again, or at least will be, but I didn't hear who. Yeah, so here is a bit from the same action we've seen in Spain, with the not working, with the pit stops that don't work. So we have loads of damaged back markers all over the track. With the only difference being I didn't start from P23, but P6. Ooh, that guy was at the best possible place. I barely even see him. Well, Nick, I already lapped a lot of cars. There are a lot of damaged back markers all over the track. I'm sure the gearbox liked this. And my crazy shifting altogether. And by the way, by now I got everything ready for the live career mode that I was talking about yesterday. So we're going to go ahead with that tomorrow. But I think that will start somewhere earlier in the morning. So for you, Nick, that's gonna be late at night, so don't think you're going to see that live. But I think we're going to start with British Formula 3 back in 2008 or 9. And then move on to the Euro Series, and then to the actual GP3 when it became that, and then, well, we'll see the rest from there. That was a bit of a ballsy way to take these corners. See, if my car was undamaged at this point, I wouldn't only have 118 lead to Jackie, but close to 2 minutes. Just unbelievable how bad the AI is on this track. Which is too bad because I really love this track. It's a really good one. One of the few very long tracks that I actually enjoy. Because it's fast, it's winding, and it's like a roller coaster with the height changes. And this guy is still next to the road. Oh boy. Well, right now it's 6 p.m. here. So it's basically late afternoon here right now. And if I remember correctly, there is a massive time difference. Well, actually, there is a massive time difference to most of you guys who watch these videos, because I think most of you are from South America. Yeah, despite the fact that I need to wrestle a bit more with the car without the front wing, it doesn't feel as bad as I expected. So the handling is still relatively okay, and I can still go at good speeds for most of the track. Only problem are these hairpins or hairpin-like corners where I feel the lack of downforce and the issues with the handling. So I actually need to take very long braking distances for this. And this corner is just the absolute worst. Oh boy. There. I just did a bit of rallying in the dirt. Because who doesn't like a good French rally? And that guy is still on the left side of the track. Would be great if someone got him out of the way. Oh, that's cool. I actually thought that time difference is a lot more than that. I actually thought it's like early morning for you or something. I'm starting to lose the grip. Right, so this is where it's going to get a bit more difficult. I think by now I break the living hell out of the tires. It's actually a bit of a wonder that the brakes are still able to take it. Okay, this one was my bad. Three and a half more laps. And let's hope that the car can take it. See those white balls that just showed up on the trackside? That's supposed to be camera flashes. Of course, we're talking about a nearly 20-year-old game. Whoa! I'm afraid that there will be more and more of these little mistakes where I run just a little bit wide or a bit more. Yeah, you haven't missed much. This is a long track. Which means you were away for about 10 minutes because we're doing 3-minute lap times here. Or at least me, not the AI. AI is usually going around 3:20 or something. However, on the qualifying, Fittipaldi actually managed to out-qualify me by good 2 seconds. Or 3. And now, well, now he's nowhere. He's out of the race. Wasn't a very long one for him. Right, we're looking good with the fuel. And now, all that's left to do for the remaining 2.5 laps is to enjoy the beautiful French countryside. Oh boy. If I keep doing this, I'm going to end up in the ditches on the trackside. Yay. Two more laps. And a huge gap to Jackie. Right, okay, I see. Yeah, so well then that late morning, then it means that it's not that early for you actually. I mean, yeah, for you it's relatively early in the morning, but that's cool. I actually thought you're something like 5-6 hours behind. Whoa! So I think I got to the point where these patches of dirt are getting dangerous, and I've been using them as curbs for most of the race. But at this point it feels like the tires can't really take it anymore. But it's one more lap. And at this point I don't even bother shifting back unless I absolutely have to. Well, I have to. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about that fuel. I mean, it says 2 laps, but I actually don't remember how... Oh wait, that's 28, not 20. Right, then nothing. Then I'm not worried about the fuel. Thought it's a 20. Because at 20 units, this might have been a bit more tricky. But this way, we'll definitely finish without any issues. 1 minute 40 to Jackie. Oh boy, poor guy. But at least we're well on the way to get that Tyrrell 1-2. And here we go. Last lap of the race. And guess what? The brakes are still alright. The brakes are still working. No brake failure. That's the second race I don't have a brake failure. Maybe those Tyrrell engineers got to work and actually fixed that, because I haven't changed much on the brake settings. Oh boy. This was scary. Okay, I'm gonna try and go for a fastest lap with the broken front wing, just because the brakes can take it. I love this section. Not this one, the previous one. I don't like this section because I don't have the front wing to be able to really fast here. I actually don't remember what my fastest lap was so far. But I'm not entirely sure I'm going to get that. Right, awesome. That's us. Finished with this crazy race with a win. Yeah, well, I just saw that message, Nick. Yeah, good brakes over the front wing, definitely. And this is exactly what happened. Thanks, Nick. So this, again, gives me a bigger lead in the championship run. And I'm getting the pen and paper ready. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting the pen and paper ready for the crash so I can actually write the results down. And I think with that I'm going to have... I had 27 points. 27? Not more. Anyway, I'll have to have a look at the points table.
With the race over, let's take a look at the classic.
So let's see. So I finished on P1.
Jackie Stewart.
Second.
And there we go. We have the Tyrrell 1, 2. Wiesel. Wow, that's surprising. On P3 by a lap behind. And yes, exactly. So 3 finishers. No one else. No one else finished this race. Absolute carnage. Absolute carnage on this race as well. But at least we got the Tyrrell 1, 2. Yeah, well, Elf Team Tyrrell. It's not the elves you're thinking about. No, Tyrrell like Ken Tyrrell. Right, okay, let's get ready for the game. Crashing. Yeah, exactly, Nick. That's what I've been doing for most of the season. Just surviving. Especially Spain. But still surprising to see Wiesel in P3. Right, and here is the crash that I was expecting so much. It's always happening. So yeah, there's a bit of an issue with that with this season, but at least I can keep fixing it and keep it going. And now I know for sure that the next race is going to be Great Britain. However, I don't actually remember whether it's going to be Brands Hatch or Silverstone. It was Silverstone last year, or it would have been if I don't break the save game. And now it's going to be well, you know what, Nick? This is a good idea, actually. No, I haven't tried that, but I'll have a look and turn that option off. That might help. We'll see. But yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks. But it was working for the first part of the season, so I'm not sure if there's any correlation. Plus, I actually had the very same issue without live streaming with the 75 season. After Sweden, it just starts kicking me out after that video if you win the race, or well, basically after you finish the race. So well, that's good to know. So yeah, I'll have a look at that and try it for the next race and see if that improves anything. But yeah, it's time to finish it for today. So thank you very much for watching, to everyone who dropped by, had a look, or watched it to the end. And I'll see you at the next race in Great Britain and the next stream that will be a little bit different than the season 72. So thanks again, have a nice evening,